through the nose and out through the mouth. Hands can be palm down on the legs, or they can be palm up. And as you inhale, imagine that there's a string at the top of your head, just pulling yourself a little bit straighter, feeling the length in the spine and opening across the chest, feeling the excuse me. Bringing your attention back to the breath. Sorry about that. Finding your center in the space, exactly where you're at. Feeling the sit bones on the ground underneath you. Feeling all corners of the body that are connecting to the mat or to the ground. Bringing yourself into the space that you're currently in. Taking this moment, this time to connect with your breath, connect with yourself. Just bringing witness, bringing awareness to the thoughts that are moving in the head or the sensations in the body. We'll begin starting at the top of the head, doing a body scan to release any tension throughout the body. And so if we begin at the top of the head, we'll breathe in and breathe out, releasing the forehead, the eyelids, the eye sockets, feeling the teeth part in the mouth to release the jaw. Moving down into the throat, breathing in and breathing out, feeling the throat release and let go. Moving down into the heart, letting the shoulders drop away from the ears. Softening through the back, the upper back, the chest. Breathing into the area right above the navel. Releasing any tension from the mid-back, the mid-belly. Moving down into the lower belly, the low back. Breathing in a little bit more deeply into this space as you inhale. And the belly button comes gently in towards the spine as you exhale. Moving down into the hips, into the legs, the knees, the calves, the ankles, and the feet. Releasing any tension or pain from the lower half of the body. Breathing into the feet, into the tips of the toes, all the way up to the crown of the head. And if you'd like to take this time in stillness to set an intention for your practice, you can do that now. Just notice if there's anything that comes to mind that you feel like you need in this moment. Setting that intention that that is what you will receive throughout your practice this evening. That is what you will continue to come back to when the mind begins to wander. So breathe that in and breathe it out. Bring some gentle movement into the fingers, into the toes. And before we make any larger movements, bring one hand to the heart and one hand to the belly, just connecting in with you this evening. And we'll take 3 breaths together. So once you exhale out all of your air, we'll hold at the bottom of the exhale for just a second. And we'll inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, open mouth, sigh if you like. Last one. Inhale through the nose, and on the exhale, if you would like to sigh again, or as if you're fogging up a mirror. Exhale out the mouth. And then you can gently begin to open up the eyes and bringing some awareness into the wrists. We're going to take a moment to bring the fists together, and the thumbs can go really anywhere that feels comfortable for you. We're going to take a few wrist circles. Just begin to gently move through the wrists. You might hear some popping. If the thumb tries to pull away, try to keep it in towards the fingers. It sometimes likes to pull away. And let's go the opposite direction. Just moving through the wrists, breathing into these joints. We're going to try to get into the joints today. And then you can gently let that go. Drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Breathing into this opening and this lengthening into the neck. On your next exhale, bring the chin down to the chest, looking down towards the ground as you bring opposite ear to opposite shoulder. Taking big, deep breaths here, exhaling, chin to chest, opposite ear to opposite shoulder. Exhaling around front, chin to chest one last time. Taking that stretch across the neck. And then bring the head back up to center. And we'll take 3 neck circles to the left and 3 to the right with your breath. So we'll inhale, drop the chin towards the chest. And then exhale, bring it all the way around. Inhale, chin to chest. Exhale, bring it around. And if at any time you want to switch up the breath, so exhaling the chin forward, inhaling the head back. You can see what feels the best for you, and then go the opposite direction. And then find yourself back, your neck back into center. I'll bring the hands out beside us, and as we inhale, we'll lift the arms up towards the sky, reach up. And then exhale, let's stretch over towards the left side, coming into a side bend. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, the right arm down, reaching over towards the right side, coming into a side bend. Inhale, both arms up. Reach the left hand down, bending over towards the left side. Inhale, both arms up. We'll go to the other side. Just bring in some nice movement into the side body. Inhale, both hands back up. Exhale, bring the hands back around the back to open up through the collarbones, through the shoulders, reach the elbows towards one another, or you can begin to straighten the elbows, bring the knuckles down towards the mat, towards the tailbone. And engage the belly here. Notice that the ribs are splaying out and see if you can link the sternum to the ribs, engaging the belly. Good. And breathe here. Lift the chin away from the chest gently. You can bring it close to the eyes at any time during this practice, or you would like to go a little bit more inward into yourself, or even challenging your listening skills. That's always fun for me to do in practice. I begin to gently let the hands go, bring the arms, the palms to the knees, and we're going to begin some circles into the hips. So as you inhale, you'll bring the chest forward, and then exhale, roll back, and inhaling forward. So some slow movements in the hips. Moving at your own pace. And let's go the opposite direction. And as you exhale and you come around the back, you can open up through the back of the shoulders. That can feel really good. We'll do one more on this side. Good. And we'll take the legs out long in front of us. We'll give them a little movement, and you can bring your hands out behind you. Bring a bend in both knees. The feet will go wider than hip width distance apart. We're going to drop our knees over towards the right and then over towards the left. So again, opening up through the hips, getting into the hip joints and also some of the knee joints. Not really the ankles quite yet. Good, just a couple more. Releasing any tension in the hips or the glutes or the low belly. And you can come back to center, bring the feet back into a cross-legged position, and we'll meet in a tabletop. So you can roll over the knees. And if you do have a blanket, this would be a great time to place it under the knees if you need a little bit more cushion this evening. We'll come to our tabletop position, shoulders over wrists, hips right over the knees, or knees in line with hips. We're going to begin to move through some cat-cow. So as we inhale, drop the belly, bring the chest through the heart, through the shoulders, look up. Exhale, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, look back towards the belly button, pressing the ground away. Inhale again, drop the belly, reach the tailbone up towards the sky. And exhale, bring it all back in. And I love throughout this practice for you to bring in any movement that feels really good for you, especially at the beginning, to move in a way that feels great for your body. So we'll take these next couple breaths to bring in any movement in the hips and the neck, in the spine, that feels good. So if you'd like to even inhale through cow and exhale back through child's pose. You like to bring some circles into the spine and into the neck. Whatever would feel nourishing for you, please feel free to do that in this moment. Linking movement to breath, breath to movement. This is also a great moment to notice if there are any sensations or pain or tension in the body, and sending your awareness and your breath to those areas that feel a little bit more sensitive today. And let's all come back to a tabletop position. Bring the knees out wide and bring the big toes together as we sit back into a child's pose. And as you come into your child's pose, see if you can bring the palms of the hands pointing up towards the sky. If this is too much in the shoulders, then feel free to bring palms down. But if you can, bring palms up. See how that feels in your body. We're going to take this moment with palms up to, again, connect in with your intention. Connect with yourself or even your breath. Breathing deeply into the hips, into the low back, into the spine. Taking this moment to give yourself some gratitude for coming to your mat this evening. Maybe bring a little smile to your face, which hopefully brings some love into your heart. Then slowly begin to lift yourself back up into a tabletop position. And if you have your blocks and you'd like to grab them, you can. If you don't have blocks, again, that's totally fine. We're going to reach the right leg in between the hands in a low lunge. And so here we're going to find that integration in the legs, as if the front heel is pulling towards the back knee towards the front heel. And then bring both palms of the hands onto the right knee, reaching up through the chest, through the shoulders. Feeling that stretch along the front of the left hip. And begin to reach the right arm up, bicep by the ears, and then the left arm up. Shoulders come back down the spine. Belly button comes in towards the spine as well. And let's bring some rotations in the wrist. About 2 to the left and 2 to the right. Good. You can bring your hands back to your blocks or back to the ground. We're going to bring some movement with breath. So we'll inhale, bend through the knee, and then exhale, straighten the leg, straighten that front knee, the front leg. Inhale, come forward, bending through the knee. Exhale, straighten the knee, send the hips back. And we'll do this about 3 more times. When we're able to bring movement with breath, especially these rocking motions, it tells our body that it's okay to release, it's okay to relax and let go. And sometimes you forget what number you're on, so let's do 1 more as you inhale. And then exhale back. And you'll find yourself in your low lunge. You'll lift through that right foot and then step the foot back behind you. I'm going to move my blocks out of the way, but keep them close by. And so the ball of the right foot is on the ground. The left knee is under the hip. The shoulders are back over the wrist. And then begin to lift the right leg up into the sky. So if you look back, your heel is aligned with your hip. All 5 toes are pointing down towards the ground. And there's an engagement in the belly to protect the low back. So feel a length across the back of the leg. lengthening through the crown of the head. And you're looking about 11 to 18 inches in front of the hands. Good. You can bring the right foot back down towards the mat. Bring the left foot out into a kickstand. So the left foot is going to go to the outside of the mat, the side of the mat. Begin to press through the left hand as you shift your weight over, and we're going to come into a supported side plank. So the right arm can come up towards the sky, or the right arm, the bicep can reach along the ear. Whatever feels good for you. And if you'd like a little bit more to add on, you can begin to lift the right leg up into the air. Nice. Belly is engaged. Breathing. Good. You can bring that right foot back down to the mat. And then we'll begin to shift back over to a tabletop position. Let's go back in child's pose for fun. You can move the hips from side to side in your child's pose. Again, feel that opening across the low back, across the spine. And then we'll move back up through tabletop. Grab your blocks if you need them. Step the left foot forward. In between the hands or the outside of the left hand. Find your engagement, your integration in the legs. Bring both hands to the left knee. Reach up through the crown of the head. Lift the left arm to the sky and then the right arm. Pressing down through the front of the foot, feeling that engagement. Again, bring some circles into the wrists, both directions. Exhale the hands back down to the box or to the mat. Inhale, reach the heart forward, lifting through the chest. Exhale, hips back. Stretch through that front leg. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, straighten through the knee. Shift the hips back. Let's move through this 4 more times with your own breath. And we'll all meet back in our low lunge. You can begin to step the left foot back, all the way back behind you, ball of the foot on the mat. You can move your blocks out of the way if you like, reaching through the heel of the left foot, feeling that lengthening across the back of the leg. Reach the crown of the head forward as you lift your left foot off the mat. You can look back and notice, is the heel in line with the hip? Engage through the belly. Lengthening out through the whole entire body, engaging through the glutes. Now we'll bring the left foot back down to the mat, kickstand the right foot to the outside of the right of the mat. And then we'll shift coming over into a supported side plank. Again, placing the left arm wherever feels comfortable for you. If you'd like a little bit more of a side stretch, you can reach the bicep over towards the ear. If you'd like a little bit more of a challenge, you can lift the left leg up. Stretching through the heel of the foot and the crown of the head at the same time. And keeping your balance, which is always the fun part. Now, wherever you're at, lower the left foot down. We'll meet back into our tabletop position. Bring the knees out wide, and we'll come back into our child's pose. Take a couple breaths here in child's pose. Again, connecting back to your intention. Connecting back to yourself, to your breath. And we'll meet back into our tabletop. And let's bring the hands about a handprint out in front of each other. Tuck the toes. And we'll bring the hips back, lifting the knees into downward facing dog. So here, if you'd like a little bit more supportive downward facing dog, you can bring the feet to about the width of the mat. Bend deeply through the knees. Press through the hands. And bring the tailbone up towards the sky. Finding a length along the back of the body, along the spine. Good. And then you'll drop the knees back down towards the mat. You can place your blocks right where your hands are. The shoulders are over the wrists. Step the right foot either in between the hands or on the outside of the right hand if you feel like you need a little bit more space this evening. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. So we'll come into a high lunge with the heart reaching through the shoulders. And again, we'll place the right hand on the right thigh, left hand, engage the belly, lift up, bring the right arm up, the left arm up, crescent lunge. And exhale, bring the hands out to the horizon, come into warrior two. And here, see if you can sink into that front knee. We'll be here for just a little while, not too long, but feel that engagement in the legs and in the arms. And then exhale, we'll bring the right elbow to the right thigh, extended side angle here, reaching the left bicep by the ear, by the left ear. Inhale back, warrior two. Finding that strength in the legs. And then exhale, windmill the arms back down to frame the foot. Drop the left knee. Bring the right knee back down. And we'll switch feet. So bring the left foot forward. Tuck the back toes. Lift the back knee. And find your engagement here in your high lunge. Bring the left hand to the left knee, right hand, reach torso up, and left arm comes up, right arm comes up, crescent lunge. Exhale, open up into warrior two, shift the feet however you need to. Good. Breathing into your warrior two. And exhale, bring the left forearm to the left knee, extended side angle. Press through the feet, inhale up. And then exhale, windmill the hands down, step the left foot back. We'll come back through our tabletop. And then find your way to a seated position on the mat. So however you would like to get there. We're going to come into a couple restorative postures. And so I am going to move my blanket out of the way. So we haven't done any twist yet. So I wanted to bring in some twists to detox the body. And so if you're sitting on your mat exactly how I am, that'll be a great place to start. So you can grab your blocks and your bolster. So we're gonna make our bolster, make it a little ramp. If you don't have blocks, you don't have to make a ramp, but if you do have blocks, I'll set that up for you. So you'll go to the medium size. So I think of small, medium, large on the blocks. A medium towards the top of your mat, and then a small. And you can lay your bolster or your pillows into your nice ramp there. You can bring your blanket close by. It's kind of hot in here, so I'm not gonna put a blanket over me, but if you have a blanket you would like to put over you, you can definitely do that. So you'll shift your hips as close to the bolster as you can get them. And we're gonna sit with our legs either both in 90-degree angles, or the legs can rest on top of each other. Or if you do have another pillow or a blanket that you can put in between the legs, that can be really, really supportive and nourishing for the nervous system and the body. And so once you get set up, and again, with any restorative posture, please do what feels really good to your body. If you need to shift or move or anything like that, please make sure to do that. And so we'll begin to inhale as you lengthen through the spine. And you'll exhale, twist the torso towards the bolster. And then gently walk yourself down so you can lay your body on the bolster, bringing the cheek down to the bolster to rest. So the head has something to rest on. The head, the neck, the torso, the belly. So everything has its place to rest. So if you need to grab any other blankets or pillows to find that, please do that now. And in this restorative posture, you can begin to close your eyes. Bring your attention to your breath. Noticing what it feels like to come into this supportive twist. A gentle ringing of the organs in the torso. The liver, the kidneys, the stomach, the spleen. And it's when we take these moments to really rest in these restorative positions that we get all of the amazing effects of our nervous system, of our parasympathetic or rest and digest nervous system. And so even here, if you can begin to bring in a body scan, releasing from the top of the head down to the tips of the toes. Even bringing in that awareness of mindfulness, mindful thoughts, mindful sensations. Being the witness, being curious of what's coming up, and seeing if you can gently let it go. See if you can send the breath down towards the low back, towards the low belly, the hips. Breathing all the way up through the back of the body. Lengthening out the intercostal muscles in the ribs that surround the lungs. Or simply just following the breath. Gently begin to deepen the breath a little bit more. Expanding with each inhale and releasing with each exhale. And you can bring your hands on each side of the bolster, each side of your body. When you're ready, you can begin to gently lift the head and then the chest and the torso away from the bolster as you walk your hands towards your hips, moving any props that might be between the legs. And I like to take a moment in a cross-legged position with a close of the eyes, taking a moment to feel the difference between the side that was in a supportive position and the side that was open to the elements per se. And so just noticing if you can feel any differences in the body. Noticing if you can feel any differences in the hemispheres of the brain or the sensations in the body. And know that you can shift your position. I'm going to move my props and I'm going to do no blocks on this side for me as I have the speaker on this side, so I can't lay down anyways. But set up if you'd like to reset up, or you can just shift. If you're on the left side, shift to the right. If you're on the right side, shift to the left. And so again, you'll bring your hips close to the bolster. Move the legs in a way that feels comfortable for you. Grab your prop that you would like to. If you did not put anything in between your legs this past time, maybe try it this time and see how that feels for you. It can feel really good. So again, we'll inhale as we lift through the chest, lift through the spine. Exhale, twist towards the bolster, and then gently begin to lie your torso over the bolster, feeling that support, feeling the neck support, feeling the whole entire body supported by the bolster. Again, bringing a close to the eyes. And if you'd like to switch up the breathing here, you can always breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, or in through the nose and out through the mouth. Maybe feel what feels the best for you today. And if the mind starts to wander, as the mind usually likes to do, let's take that time to come back to the breath, or begin that scan of the body, starting at the top of the head, releasing any tension that might have found its way back in the body. Feeling the neck release, feeling the teeth part in the mouth, feeling the shoulders and the hips and the glutes release. And know that you can always come back to that intention. Taking this time for you and for exactly what you need in this moment. We tend to sometimes go through our lives doing so much for other people. And so taking this time for you is such a blessing, such a wonderful thing to do. And so in those moments where the mind wants to go into other things, it's always fun to bring it back to ourselves, and even just asking ourselves what we need in this moment. And maybe our bodies need to shift to feel a little bit more comfortable. Maybe we need to grab an essential oil and put it on the back of our neck, or whatever you need. Taking this time now to do that, and do that for you. Deepen the breath, moving into the belly. Again, filling up the whole entire torso with air. Expanding on the inhale and releasing, letting everything go on the exhale. And when you're ready, you can begin to place your hands on both sides of the bolster. Slowly pressing yourself back up to a seated position. Removing any bolsters or blocks or props. Coming back into your cross-legged position, taking a little moment here to close the eyes, to the breath. Notice any sensations in the body. Notice any energy that you feel moving that maybe wasn't there a little while ago. And you can shift your bolster or your pillows out of the way for the moment. Keep them close by. We're going to come to lie on our backs. So get there however feels good for you. Taking your time, stretching the legs out long, stretching the arms over the head, reaching through the arms, reaching through the feet, stretching the whole entire body. Good. And let that go. Bring the right knee in towards the chest. Give your right knee a little squeeze. And bring some slight engagement into the left leg, flexing the left foot towards the sky, the toes towards the sky or the ceiling. And begin to straighten the right leg, bringing the hands, clasping them behind the thigh. So the knee can be bent generously, or you can begin to push through the heel of the right foot as you straighten the leg. And so the back of the thigh will press into the hands will press into the thigh. And flex and point the foot. Bringing some reverse blood flow into the legs. Squeeze the right knee back in towards the chest. And if you like, you can grab the right knee with the left hand and come into a twist, bringing the right knee over the midline of the body, twisting towards the right knee towards the left side, bringing the right arm into a T and maybe looking over towards the right hand. And if you do have a bolster that the right knee can rest on, that can be really wonderful as well, but we won't be here for too long. Inhale the right knee back in towards the chest. Give it a little squeeze. And we'll switch legs. So let the right leg come out straight. Bring the left knee in. Little squeeze. Lift the right leg up, the right foot up towards the sky. Point and flex the left foot. And see if you can, again, close the eyes here. I know with myself, I have a tendency to look at my leg or look at my foot and it pulls at the back of the neck. So see if you can close the eyes and just feel into the movements of the leg, of the foot. Finding the breath. Bring the left knee in towards the chest. Again, a little squeeze. And then come into a twist. Coming onto the right side, reaching the left arm out. Maybe looking over towards the left hand. Bring the left knee back in towards the chest. Bring both knees in and rock from side to side, massaging the low back, massaging the spine. And if you'd like here to come into a happy baby, you can take that time to do that now. And again, even here, you can rock from side to side in your happy baby. Good. Let the legs come out long. Again, stretching through the whole entire body. You can reach the hands over. And let's roll onto our right side. Resting the head onto the bottom arm. Coming into our fetal position for a second. And then press through that top arm, bringing yourself back up to a seat. We're going to come into our last restorative posture of the evening. So I'm going to give you 3 different options. I try not to give you too much, but I'll give you 3. So first option would be easy enough, would be legs up the wall if you have a wall nearby. It's really supportive, especially right now. It's a great thing to do if you're sitting or anything like that. Second option would be bolster on some blocks or an elevated bolster, or even just legs over a bolster. You'll place the knees right at the edge of the bolster, and then you'll lay back on your back. And again, if you have an option that you know I'm going to go into, or that you know is really comfortable for you, please do that. Third option would be exactly what we did with the bolster when we turned to the left and to the right into our twist, you'll just be coming to your back and then lengthening the legs out long. And if you do have a blanket that you can bring under the knees, that can be also equally supportive for the low back. And in this position, the arms, and in every position, the arms can come out towards the sides, palms facing up towards the ceiling. If you feel like you're in more of a receiving mode this evening. If you feel like you want to be more centered or more grounded, you can always place the hands on the torso, anywhere that feels grounding for you. So in these last couple minutes of your practice, find this time to get really, really comfortable. Feel the opening across the chest. Feel the opening in the heart. While we're in this last pose, our Shavasana, our corpse pose, we take this moment to again connect in with ourselves, connect in with our gratitude towards ourselves for taking this time for us. And even here, begin to see if you can release a little bit more by inhaling a little bit more deeply and exhaling a little bit more air out with each exhale. Not straining yourself in any way, but seeing how much you can expand and receive through the inhale and how much you can release and let go through the exhale. And if you like, you can come back to your intention one last time. And you can gently let it go. Let it wash away like clouds in the sky, knowing that it's already done. And whatever position you're in, if you'd like, you can begin to imagine that anything you're holding on to in this moment, or maybe anything that's bringing pressure to you in your life. And a lot of times we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. Just imagine that leaving through the back of the body, moving down into the earth, down into the core of the earth to be transmuted into energy and power for the earth to move forward. And so if there's anything you need to let go of or release in this time, just imagine that moving out of you into the earth to be transformed and transmuted into light. Now I'll take these next couple moments to leave you to yourself and your breath. And my voice will call you back once we're ready. Begin to deepen your breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And know that you can stay right here for the rest of practice. But if you would like to bring in some movement, you can begin to move the fingers and the toes. And you can begin to gently move away any props that might be placed on the body. When you're ready, you can roll on to a side that feels really good for you. Taking a moment in this fetal position or wherever you're at to say a couple kind words to yourself. Maybe I love you, or you are so brave or beautiful, or whatever comes to mind. Just a few kind words. And if you like, you can begin to press into that top hand to lift yourself up into a seated position. Again, keeping the eyes closed if you like to keep the attention inward. And you can place the hands together in prayer position. And then bowing down in towards your hands, really bowing into yourself, honoring yourself and bringing gratitude to yourself for coming to your mat, taking this time for you. And may you know health and have health. May you know happiness and peace and joy and kindness of every kind. And the light in me sees and honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you all so much for being here.